Nitro Funny Car time, and for the last time this season, we're talking Mission Too Fast, Too Tasty Challenge. Blake Alexander showing a little tood right there as he won Brainerd, and he is ready to bring the fight to Chad Green, who red-lit against Blake Alexander in the semifinal round in that Bond coat, Boxo Tools, Summit Racing Equipment Mustang. And then it's Matt Hagan, who is so cool, he wears his sunglasses at night and indoors sometimes. He peels those babies off, and he will be taking on J.R. Todd, whose smooth upper lip has been replaced with a dastardly mustache. Tom Selleck levels of facial hair for J.R. Todd as he rolls in this weekend. Alexander and Green, Hagan and Todd going to scrap here at these Toyota U.S. Nationals, the final Mission Too Fast, Too Tasty Challenge of the year. So the bodies are up. Blake Alexander here now. You can see Jim Head, the car owner, and the tuner for the Pronto Auto Service Center, head contractors Mustang. These guys have really gotten a nice handle on this car. After things really hit rock bottom for them in Sonoma, they have bounded way back. And for Chad Green, this is his 10th appearance in the Mission Too Fast, Too Tasty Challenge. He's won one of them. Green's going to have a busy weekend. He's part of the call-out as well.
And Chad Green has to know that Blake Alexander is not only the driver to beat, but you have to beat that car. I believe he knew that a couple of weeks ago when he fouled out on the starting line.
40 years ago, Jim Head won the U.S. Nationals in Funny Car, and it was one of the biggest upsets in the history of this event. Oh boy, Chad Green took a second, but he's got a cylinder on. It's Chad Green to the finish line. Green took a second, then goes 0.43. Crew Chief Dean Marinas is happy about that. A 4.26 for Alexander, and Jim Head asking Dave Leahy if he shut the car off on the run.
Well, I think they knew that problems had set in, so we'll get another look at this. We do know that Chad Green's car only had 7 cylinders. Blake Alexander's car, they had some mechanical issues themselves. It may have been overfueled, a lost cylinder. Take a look on the right side of your screen. Blake Alexander seems to be accelerating. Looked like the car just shut off, but very late off the starting line was Blake Alexander, about 1/10 of a second. So Chad Green, there's the raw fuel coming out of the pipe. Only 7 cylinders, however, he did wisely stay on the throttle, and that's one of the big things that earned him this round win.
So we watch one more time, and you can see Alexander's car came off clean, as you mentioned, Tony, began to work inside. He makes a steering adjustment, maybe spun the tires a little bit, and that was the end of it. Green advances. And we are back for the final of the Mission Too Fast, Too Tasty Challenge in Nitro Funny Car, and it will pit J.R. Todd against this man, Chad Green. Wearing the Bonco colors, his company, of course, Summit Racing Equipment, Boxo Tools, and others. And for J.R. Todd, as it has been for so many years, it is the DHL colors on his GR Supra. For J.R. Todd, he mentioned the amount of work, and Tony, we had some communication with Todd Smith about this DHL team and everything they did to get their program put back together after a truly troubled Brainerd with a lot of broken parts, Bruno. J.R. Todd's going to be happy to be here right now.
Yeah, talking with him this morning, we were talking 10 days out from the biggest drag race in the world, and he doesn't have a legit car that he can put together and go and race. So fortunately for the team, when they got back and analyzed everything, the chassis on both of those cars were actually in better condition than they thought. Minimal damage. It came down to the bodies. They got one new body, one body that they repaired, and lo and behold, now all of a sudden they've got themselves 2 solid race cars are in the final Mission Foods Too Fast, Too Tasty Challenge. So things can turn around quick for a Nitro team, and this is a team that's always showed a ton of resilience.
That's a fact, but let's not count out Chad Green here. He has gotten the job done in big situations before.
No, and I think what Chad Green's going to need to do is he's going to need to pull out another good reaction time off the starting line. That's going to keep him in the race, and hope that his team and his tuners made some decisions and adjustments on that car to give him a better chance.
That is Joe Serena standing next to the car. He works in unison with Dean Marinas to tune the car for Chad Green. Lucas Oil Helicopter gives us the long look down to the starting line. Both cars look at J.R. Todd. Man, they had that thing loaded up. And J.R. Todd goes a 395 at 325 miles an hour. He was ready to snap at the action to an 068 light.
It was good enough. I mean, we saw some impressive runs in qualifying, but for J.R. Todd, this appeared to be a good, safe run, 8 cylinders. It was a good lead for Chad Green, but it appeared that his car had a misfire in a cylinder, and there it is right there, right off the starting line, and that's just a loss of too much horsepower right there, and it never reignited, so he was at a disadvantage from the start.
Pretty good job of car control as well for Green to fight that thing missing a hole the entire run and keep it relatively squared up in his lane.
Yeah, and there's a lot of moisture, there's a lot of humidity, and again, the tuners can make some adjustments to try to alleviate that. They could nozzle that one particular cylinder, or they could they could ramp some more timing into it. There's so many adjustments they could make, but it started early for Chad Green.
J.R. Todd is with Amanda Busick.